Well, I was going to talk about the non-farm payroll report, which came out this morning, as I do every month. And you know what? I think I'll touch that first. I'll get it out of the way, because I can say my piece on that and then get into the big news of today. We are seeing a continued divergence between the establishment survey and the household survey. For those of you who don't remember and haven't been following along at home with the non-farm payroll reports, every month the top line number, the top line jobs number goes up, and the number under the surface seems to go down. The Bureau of Labor Statistics in the United States has two ways that they try and forecast employment and job growth. They do a survey of both businesses and households, and they ask the businesses, hey, how many people did you hire this month or fire, on net? And then they survey a bunch of households and say, hey, did you get a new job this month, or did you lose your job? What's going on? And then based on their survey of those two groups, they then extrapolate a number across the entire country. And for over a year now, I think, the household survey has diverged radically from the establishment survey. What we've been seeing is that the household survey keeps getting worse and worse. Less and less people say that they have a job every month. But the establishment survey, is positive every month. And it keeps saying, yeah, businesses are going, yeah, we're hiring more people, we're hiring more people, we're hiring more people. So the number of jobs goes up, but the number of people working keeps going down. The only logical explanation for this, if you assume that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is taking representative samples and correctly, extrapolating that these are the real numbers. If you assume that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is correct, the only thing this can mean is that people are losing their jobs. Some people are losing their jobs, and other people are taking on multiple jobs. Because less people are working and there are more jobs. There's no other way to explain that. We have more jobs than people by a long shot. And so this also puts the Fed in a difficult position, because the Fed wants to start cutting rates. There's a lot of pressure on them from all around Congress, finance, what have you. Everyone pretty much, well, by everyone I don't mean me, of course, wants the Fed to cut rates, because hiking rates, that's uncomfortable, and people don't like to feel uncomfortable. But according to the establishment survey, which is the number that gets the most attention, that's the one that is kind of the default. It looks like the Fed's rate hikes have not harmed employment. Businesses are still hiring. But it doesn't look as promising when you look a little deeper and realize that 213,000 out of the... Oh, I forgot to go over the numbers. So the establishment survey showed that there was an increase on net in jobs of 339,000. Now, the household survey, by contrast, I believe it was like 310,000 negative. 310,000 lost jobs, according to the establishment survey. So that's like over 700,000 job delta between the two. That's a big discrepancy. It's the biggest that I can remember. I don't know if there's been a month where it was bigger, but that's the biggest in my memory. But anyway, when it comes to the establishment survey, apparently 213,000 of the 339,000 jobs that were officially added, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, actually came from the birth-death model, which is to say a guess. It is the Bureau of Labor Statistics a guess at how many jobs were created or lost on net by businesses that either were created or businesses, that went out of business. And so the Bureau of Labor Statistics is just guessing and assuming that there were a bunch of new businesses that were started, and they hired 213,000 people on net. That's a pretty big assumption. So, all in all, the unemployment and employment in the form of the non-farm payroll report is not as rosy as it seems. In fact, it seems pretty bad under the surface. So we will see. I wonder in order for the Fed to justify keeping rates down or to do anything else, I mean, they're going to have to start attacking the Bureau of Labor Statistics and saying, hey, there's something up here. This is fishy. And just because the non-farm payroll report, looks good on the surface, there's a lot of problems underlying here, and that would undermine confidence in the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and I don't think that that's something that the Fed wants to do. The Fed doesn't really litigate, government economic metrics. They take them for granted because they're usually designed to make their lives easier. And so, if the government is fudging data and cooking the books, the Fed is very happy to look the other way. So, speaking of unemployment, old Elon Musk has been handing out the pink slips at Twitter. What few employees remained, we saw a couple of pretty high-profile firings today, and I think even going back to yesterday, regarding Twitter trust and safety. It all started when the Daily Wire was going to publish the entirety of the What is a Woman documentary to be watched for free on Twitter as, I guess, a promotional thing, because it's only going to last 24 hours. So they give you a taste of what is, their hottest product, and then they take it away and they go, now subscribe, to Daily Wire Plus or whatever, and you can get more content like this. It's an interesting marketing strategy. Release a whole movie and then say, hey, could you imagine if Disney tried to do that with Peter Pan and Wendy or something? Hey, look at this awesome content you can get if you subscribe to Disney Plus. Here, watch Peter Pan and Wendy free for 24 hours. And then they would probably lose subscribers on net over that period. But if you're a company like Daily Wire that produces things that your customers like, it's an interesting strategy. Well, Twitter suppressed the post. They labeled it hate speech. They made it so that people couldn't comment. They essentially, cordoned it off with caution tape and labeled it toxic waste and said, no, don't interact with this post. It's very bad. And people were rightfully upset. They said, hey, Elon, isn't this the free speech platform? What are you doing trying to suppress, what is, in the grand scheme of things, a pretty mild documentary, about pronouns. I mean, can you imagine anything more, banal? I mean, go back to the 90s and tell someone that a documentary about the use of pronouns was being suppressed and was a big topic of controversy. And so instantly people jumped on Elon, rightfully, and said, hey, you're a poser. You lied. You said that you were Mr. Free Speech. This is not what this is about. Look at it. You can't even handle what is a woman, so you can't handle any other dissident speech either, blah, blah, blah. And Elon appears to have taken it seriously. And he does not want anybody to think that those are fair criticisms. And so he has fired the people who presumably were in charge of this, the folks who run the, trust and safety. That's always, that's the Orwellian code word that Twitter's used for years for their censorship regime. They must censor political dissidents in order to promote, or in order to, gain their users' trust and to keep them safe. Because people feel very unsafe, and they are going to be less likely to trust Twitter if they see Matt Walsh, call a cross-dresser sir. And so Elon's doubled down on the other side. He's now gone 100% in support of the Daily Wire's documentary, and he's tweeted it out himself. He said every parent should see this, and he said, this is a very important, piece of work. And he even used the term, I think, reverse Streisand effect, although is that really effective? I don't think that reverse Streisand effect makes sense in this case. Wouldn't it just be the regular Streisand effect because the Twitter Trust and Safety tried to suppress this post, and now it's blown up and everybody's heard about it? And, you could almost say that Elon did it on purpose because there are leaks and rumors that are alleging that he was in the room when this decision was made and that he okayed it. He may have wanted these people gone anyway. They came to him and they said, "Oh my gosh, Elon, we have to censor this post. This is terrible. This is no good. This is very bad. This is crossing a line. Even you must relent and accept that Matt Walsh's What is a Woman should be suppressed." And Elon might have said to that woman, he said, "You know what? You're right this time. I'm going to let you go ahead and do what you want." And then as soon as she did, and there was backlash, he axed her for it. That sounds very much like a Musk move to me. And so now he used that. He was able to turn a bad story into, a redemption arc. And he's able to come out and say, yeah, these people, they shouldn't have been around anyway. And, I'm going to come out and affirmatively support your movie. It's interesting. I mean, if I were Matt Walsh, I'd be thankful to Elon for that things transpired this way, rather than them just getting to post it willy-nilly. The Daily Wire got so much more attention this way by framing it as, hey, we're taking on Twitter, and Elon is, we're too free speech for him, and he can't handle our speech. It's almost, you could have staged this like a WWE fight. I'm not saying that it was. I'm not saying that it was all a farce. I'm just saying that if it was, it would be smart. So, anyway, with that said, I will probably not see you folks tomorrow. I'm going to be very busy, but I will be here on Sunday. I'm missing a couple of days this week. I had Memorial Day, and then busy on Wednesday and busy on Saturday, so it's kind of like every other day this week, but, hey, I do this for fun. So, with that said, I will see you folks then.